How's it going, ladies and ladettes? We're back for another killer vs killer, and this time Hillbilly and Leatherface will be battling it out. This one will probably excite my friend Liam, as he mains Leatherface himself, so let's see if his boy wins or not. You know the drill by now, we'll be talking about their stats, strength, agility, and lore. But I have decided, with the help of some feedback from friends, that I would talk about one killer at a time, opposed to switching off each category. So let's begin. The Hillbilly is tall, has a movement speed of 4.6 meters a second, and a tail radius of 32 meters. So yet again, for most of the killers in this game, basic stuff and nothing too special. His power isn't much of a power, and simply just his trusty chainsaw. Once revved up, the Hillbilly is able to move at 230% speed and gains the ability to inflict higher damage than if he was just using his club. I'll just talk slightly about this now, but his increased speed isn't due to a natural capability, but has some supernatural causes behind it. That's from the lore and like about some other stuff. So the only downfall to his chainsaw is he isn't able to attack multiple enemies at a time, having to rev the chainsaw back up after each hit. Overall though, I'm going to give the Hillbilly a 9 out of 10 for his stats, as he's a fast killer with a very versatile ability, being able to traverse across any field in a matter of seconds and strike an opponent down with one blow. Easy decision in my opinion. Hillbilly's strength is quite an easy one to determine in my opinion as well. As we can see, he's quite well built and has no worries operating heavy machinery, as well, you know, holding quite a hefty hammer. It's quite big. Even one of his perks, Enduring, further enhances his strength, as it makes the Hillbilly less susceptible to pain. That did not come out right. The only thing drawing him back a little would be his deformities, which, although provide him with thick skin, might make certain tasks hard to perform. So, for this category, I'll be giving Hillbilly an 8 out of 10, because he has very little drawbacks and demonstrates his strength well. As stated in previous Killer vs Killers, I won't be including any power buffs killers get that increase their speed for agility, so for this reason I won't be including his fast sprint he gets when using his chainsaw, as it's stated within the lore that it comes from supernatural sources. Later on, however, I will be including it for Leatherface because it's only a short increase in speed, and it's obviously it's coming from Leatherface himself and not outside sources. So Hillbilly, however, I would say has a pretty decent agility level. Not wearing anything that would heavily drag him down from performing any movements, except his deformities may draw him back a little bit. But I'm not too sure if they actually do or not. He does have a limp as he chases survivors though, which leads me to believe that it is having an effect on him, because you can see his back and posture isn't very good. So I'll be giving Hillbilly a 6 out of 10 for this category, as he does have a higher movement speed compared to other killers, but his limp and overall condition I feel would prevent him from reaching those finer movements. Our final category we're looking at for Hillbilly is, as always, his lore. So I actually really enjoyed the Hillbilly's lore, and I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 already. We learned that Hillbilly was locked away as a kid due to his deformed appearance, and was seen as an unwanted child to his parents. Eventually he broke out of his containment, slaughtering both his parents, freeing himself from his shackles. Continuing to live his life on the farm, he spent his time killing countless animals. I'm only giving him a 10 out of 10 because killing mostly comes from animals, who are most likely helpless to what was happening to them, and the only two killings are his parents. However, it shows a great deal of perseverance and willpower to kill those in his way, which is why I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Now that we're done with Mr. Hillbilly Boy, we can move on to Leatherface. Leatherface also is tall with a 4.6 meters a second and has a tail radius of 32 meters. So the same as Hillbilly and most killers in the game, very similar. But Leatherface, very similar to Hillbilly, brings a chainsaw with him, but it works quite different to Hillbilly. Once revved up, Leatherface goes into a kind of frenzy, screaming as he swings his chainsaw side to side, running with it going at an 86.25% increased speed. If he comes into contact with anything other than the target he's aiming for, he will go into a tantrum state for a few seconds, not moving, swinging his chainsaw all around him, likely due to his childish nature. Unlike Hillbilly, Leatherface is actually able to damage more than one opponent if there's the opportunity for it, as when he comes into contact with someone, he keeps swinging until he stops or hits an object in the surrounding area. Except I feel as though, although it seems better, as he's able to injure more people, it's a little less viable and not as good as an ability, so I'm going to be giving Leatherface a 7 out of 10. Leatherface's strength, I feel, would be quite high because he isn't muscular in the slightest, but still has a large body frame, allowing him to perform stronger actions. We can easily see that he is quite strong from the way he performs his power. Swinging the chainsaw side to side continuously with no stop at that speed would take a lot of strength to do, so clearly he's demonstrating he has a backbone to him. I'm going to give Leatherface a 9 out of 10, as he obviously is quite strong, but not a 10 out of 10 due to the fact that he isn't, in well shape, and the strength comes from his large body frame. Agility is a tricky one because on one hand he's quite a big fellow and not really in shape, which would obviously prohibit him from doing some movements and the speed in which he does them. But on the other hand, he also has a higher speed capability than other killers, which I am including his chainsaw sprint because it doesn't stem from supernatural origins. So it's a little tricky to determine a fair score here, as I still don't believe he would have a great agility in the sense of quick turns and final movements, but he's got the legs to run fast. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10, as he doesn't seem to be stopped by any other medical or physical reasons like the limp Hillbilly has. Also not being stopped by his clothing, as it wouldn't be too debilitating towards him, only being let down by his size. Our last category for this fight will be, before we determine the winner, is Leatherface's Law. I'll be honest, Leatherface's Law is a strange one. It's taken from the ending of his first movie, and then dwells into him becoming a servant for the entity. But what it mostly tells us is that Leatherface kills for his family and protection, as well as for the entity now, as he sees it almost as family itself. It's weird because he's obviously killed a lot of people in the name of his family, and done them in a way that wouldn't be pleasant to the person receiving it, but all of his killings have been done by murdering clueless dumb teens with a chainsaw, so it doesn't really show much skill for killing, but it does show loyalty and determination to protect what he loves. Meaning, if he felt threatened that the killer he was versing was going to hurt the entity, he would act upon killing them as fast as possible. For those reasons, I'm only going to give Leatherface a 7 out of 10. It would be higher if he killed people in a more interesting way and killed people who actually fought back, or had an upper hand over him. Now that we've talked about each killer respectively, we can tally up the scores and determine our winner for the fight. Hillbilly coming in at 32 out of 40 and Leatherface 30 out of 40. Our closest match by far, and only being a 2-point difference. But sadly, Leatherface will be eliminated, and Liam is probably going to hate me for this, as he believes Leatherface is a much better killer than Hillbilly. But everyone to their own though. This means that Hillbilly will be going on to the next round, and our next fight will be between Nurse and Freddy. So get ready for that one, because I'm sure it'll be interesting and close match again, just like this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be making sure to get the next fight made as soon as possible. Bye bye.